Hi, everyone. I just wanted to jump on here to explain how the schedule this year is going to work because it's a little bit different in the past. Just bear with me. I have it all laid out for you, but I figured sometimes it's easier when somebody is explaining it to you. Okay, so we've broken up the students into two different cohorts. There's cohort A and there's cohort B. In cohort A are the students in which their last name begins with the letters A through L, and in cohort B, the students with the last name that begins with letters M through Z. Okay, so cohort A is red, cohort B is blue. Okay, so we're still doing a day one and a day two schedule. However, it's not alternating day one, day two, day one, day two. Instead, it's day one, day two, day two. So on Tuesday, the first day of school, September 8th, cohort A is in person. Okay, if you're in cohort A on Tuesday, that first day of school, you're in person following a day one schedule. Okay, so that means that cohort B is at home following a day one schedule, working remotely. Or if you're in sixth grade and you opted to work in the auditorium, that's where you'll be as well. So the next day, so Wednesday, the 9th, cohort B will be in person and again following that day one schedule. Okay, whereas cohort A will be home following a day one schedule, working remotely. Okay, let me pull up a sample schedule just so I can kind of give you an idea of what the student schedule might look like. Okay, so let's say you're a student who's in cohort A, and this is your schedule. Okay, so this number to the left here, that first number that you see, that indicates the period number. Okay, there are 9 periods in our school day. The number in parentheses that you see, that indicates whether it's a day one or a day two class. If there's a number 1 and 2, it means that you have that class both days. So that's a class you go to every day. Okay, so again, this is a cohort A sample schedule. So that first day of school, you're in person, right? And you're following a day one schedule. So you're going to go to science, you're going to go to computer literacy, you're going to go to math, you're going to go to lunch, reading language arts, so on and so forth. The next day, cohort A, you're going to be working remotely. And again, you're following that same day one schedule, but you're going to be working remotely. Whether you're at home or if you're in sixth grade and you choose to be in the auditorium, you might be there. You're working online, following a day one schedule. The next day, cohort A, you're back in school, in person, and you're following a day two schedule. Okay. Then the next day, cohort A, you're working remotely, and you're again following a day two schedule. The next day, you're working in person, and you're following a day one schedule. Okay, and the same thing goes for cohort B. So I'm using the same schedule here as an example. So cohort B, you'll start remotely. So your first day of school on the 8th, you're going to be working remotely from home following a day one schedule. Okay, the next day, which is the 9th, you're going to be in person, again following a day one schedule. Okay, then the 10th, again, you're going to be working remotely, but you're going to be following a day two schedule. Okay, then the 11th, you're going to be in person following a day two schedule. Okay, and I know I mentioned this before, but sixth graders do have the option to work either from home on that alternate day for remote learning, or we do have a designated spot in the auditorium where they can socially distance themselves and work in school, but still remotely. Right? There's a Google form on the Levittown website if you want to fill out whether you want to work at home or in school for that remote day. Go ahead and let us know. You can always change your mind. Yeah, so that's pretty much it.